Hi class, how are you today? Why do you never answer? It makes me really sad. Anyway, the learning target today is to add and subtract polynomials. Well, first, what's a polynomial? Polynomial is a mathematical expression of one or more algebraic terms. So, here are some examples. Let's say we have x squared plus 5x plus 3. So this is an example of a polynomial. And what it means by terms is each thing between the addition signs is a term. So here, x squared is a term, 5x is a term, and 3 is a term. So everything separated by addition signs or subtraction signs are considered terms. So in this case, we have a polynomial with 3 terms in it. We'll get into talking more about what kinds of polynomials are, but today is more of adding and subtracting them. But here are a few more examples of polynomials. We can have 5x squared y minus 3xy squared. Those are polynomials, and this is one term, and this is one term. Again, the subtraction sign is what makes them different, is what separates them. So, one more. Let's say we have 9xyz. That's a polynomial. There's only one term in it, but it's a polynomial nonetheless. It's what's known as a monomial, but we'll get to that later. So polynomials are just adding different terms together. So let's start and actually do some math. So whenever you're adding or subtracting polynomials, you have to do what's called combining like terms. So let's start off with an example. Say we have 5x plus 3 minus 2x plus 7. And we want to simplify this. So what you do is you have to find the terms that are alike. These are the terms with the same exact variables. So, notice we have 5x here. We have to find something else with an x in it, the same exact variable. Here we have minus 2x. Those two things are alike. And also, the numbers without an x are also alike. So here we have a 3, and here we have a 7. Those are alike. So we combine the like terms, or add and subtract the like terms. So we have 5x minus 2x will give us 3x, and 3 plus 7 will give us 10. And it's a positive 10, so we'll say plus 10. And we're done, because this is an x and this is a number. They can't combine because they are not like terms. So that's our answer. Seems simple enough? Awesome, let's keep going. Alright, so now, again, we need to find out which terms are alike. And remember I said they have to be exactly the same. So, let's look at the first term. Here we have 2x squared. And we need to find what is also exactly the same variable. So notice that there is a difference between x squared and just x. They are different variables. Even though they both have an x, they are different because this is an x squared and this is just an x. So you cannot combine those two. By the way, little hint, make sure to write down the stuff I'm saying, not just the stuff I'm writing. So anyway, we need to find another x squared. Well, we have one over here, minus 9x squared. So we can combine those two. And then we have to look for other like terms. So here we have a minus 3x and a plus 4x. So then we combine the terms that are alike. So 2x squared minus 9x squared will give us a negative 7x squared. And then negative 3x plus 4x will give us a positive 1x, or just x. Any questions? If you do, make sure to write them down and tell me when we get to class, or even send me an email if you're really confused right now. I'll take them. Now let's look at this big problem. So here we have 12x squared. Let's look at what things are alike with it. So we need to look for another x squared. It has to be exactly x squared and nothing else. Well, I actually see two of them. Here we have a minus 9x squared, and here we have just an x squared. So those are three terms that are alike. Then let's look at y. So we have 4y here, and then we have to find something else with just a y in it. This right here has a y, but it's a y squared, so that's different. So this is a 4, just a 4, no y, so we can't combine anything else here. So 4y just stays 4y. Then we have minus 8y squared. Again, it's just a y squared, can't combine with anything else because there are no other just y squareds here. So then we have a plus 4. That's the only thing we have left. There are no other just numbers, so that just stays there. So then we add what we need to. So we have 12x squared minus 9x squared plus x squared. Just so we know, what number do we say is in front of x squared when there's nothing there? It's a 1. So that's actually a 1x squared. So now we're saying 12x squared minus 9x squared plus 1x squared. So 12 minus 9 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So that'll give us 4x squared. And then all the other numbers are all by themselves. So we leave them by themselves and just throw them out there. So plus 4y minus 8y squared plus 4. Nothing else can combine, they're all different, so that is our final answer. Alright, let's do one more. Alright, here's our last problem. So, let's look at the first one. We've got 14x squared y. So, we need to find something with the exact same variables. So that means it has to be exactly x squared y. Nothing different, has to be x squared y. We can change the order and have y x squared, but the square has to go with the x, and the y has to have no exponent at all. So, let's go across. This has an x, but no squared. The squared is to the y. So that's different than this. This one has an x squared, and it has a y by itself. So et squared y, et squared y. Those are the same. And finally, this one just has an et squared. It doesn't have a y with it, so it is different. So then we get the other like terms. We have minus 18xy squared. Nothing goes with that. And 6x squared. Nothing goes with that. So we combine our like terms. 14 plus 2 will give us 16. X squared y. And then everything else drops down because there's nothing adding to them. So minus 18xy squared plus 6x squared. And it doesn't look very nice, but that is our final answer. Alright, so that's it for today. Please remember to take notes on this, the entire thing, all the examples, and I will see you next class. Have a good night.